In this model, we wanted to get a sense of the impact of the mines going into the area on both population and economics in the local community. So what we've done is created a model that brings together a number of those different components. At the top here, we're looking at modeling population impact. In the center, economic impact, and down at the bottom, social impact. From a population impact side, one of the first key measures to look at is the mine density. How many mines per 100 kilometers are in this area? And based on a lot of the previous evidence from Ontario, we can say that anywhere between 20 and 33 mines per 100 square kilometers is going to be average. So let's say we can look at 24 mines per 100 kilometers squared. So that gives us 72 mines in this region. If we take a look at how many employees per mine there are, say we move that to just under, say about 300, just under 300 people per mine. At the moment, say there's no one with families attached, and we have a support ratio of 0.5. Support ratio is the number of additional workers per mine worker that's required for transportation and housing and so on. So with this simple calculation, we're now starting to see, even with this density of 24, which is relatively normal in the region, we would have an increase in population of over 32,000 people very quickly as these mines start to become activated. If we wanted to say, well, at a high density, for example, this 33 mines per 100 square kilometers, which is around the ratio in the area around Timmins, then we're over 44,000 people. And if we start to increase this to say, well, maybe what happens if 24% of the workers had families with them, over 62,000 people? And what happens if the support ratio actually increased, and we said that was maybe even 1-to-1? So that for every worker in the mine, that was requiring an additional worker outside the mine to support that. Now over 77,000 people to support those mines. From an economic impact, we can look at what is the local impact of those workers. We can look at our average salary here. Say an average salary we estimate to be $70,000. The economic value of that is over $2 billion. But if we really want to get an idea of what is the local economic impact, we need to take a look here at what percentage of that salary is being spent locally. Is that 25%? Is that 40%? Is that only 15%? And we can make some adjustments there. And we can see the local salary spend of that $2 billion is only $310 million going into local community. We can also take a look at how much each mine is spending on outsourcing. So for example, if these mines are spending $2 million on outsourcing, we can look at how much of that is going to local companies, and companies that are based in the local community. Is that 30%? Is that over 50%? Or more likely, is it if the community is not well developed economically, maybe without the number of entrepreneurs and support services to take on that outsourcing, maybe it's just over 10%. So you can see that the local economic impact is going to be $332 million distributed over those 99 mines in this multi-100-kilometer region. So very quickly we can start to see that we're not really just talking about the impact of one mine, we're talking about the impact of a number of mines. And we're talking about not just the impact of a couple thousand people working at one mine or in a handful of mines, but in this model here, in this scenario, over 77,000 people coming into the area. A huge change, which is going to have a change in the demographics, in how the cities and the towns are set up, as well as the social impact. So we can start to look at, from an addiction rate, what is that actually going to happen both to the local community and to the imported labor community as social dislocation happens, as some of the other factors that come along with high incomes and people living out in mining communities, and very historically sort of understood what those relationships are. And we can do some modeling of that. So I think this model pulls together a lot of this information in a relatively simple way, but really starts to show the dramatic impact these mines are going to have on the population and the economic impact. And as well as showing that the transportation planning is really going to need to take into account large volumes of people as well as the large volumes of minerals that are being taken out of the mines.